All right, so you podcast, it's your boy SB, and I'm joined today by
It's your boy Clint Westwood, Toledo, Ohio, San Diego in the building.
Official G Money, straight out of ATL.
King Sam, Miami's finest.
Phoenix Prime, New York City, city is city.
I know and on today's topic we want to talk about the justice system. We're gonna let Sam kick it off and break it down.
All right, so we're about to have a good combo. We already know we got a lot of good minds here, very intellectual people. So we're about to talk about just the death penalty. I'm pretty much anti-death penalty. We got Clint in here and G and Phoenix and stuff, and we're going to see what they feel about it. So Clint, tell us about it. What you think about
As
it?
far as the death penalty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do feel like, I'm not going to say an eye for an eye or whatever, right? But if prison is about reform or whatever, right?
Okay.
And integrating somebody back into society, we know that's not an option for everybody.
Okay. Talk to us.
Some people are just not going to be able to function back in society. This is the reason you get life penalties. This is the reason you get death penalties. If you give somebody life, what is the point of keeping them alive? If somebody, like you said, you're not for the death penalty, right?
Correct.
At what point is somebody exempt from that? Like you take somebody like Hitler or something or whatever, right?
Okay.
Do you think he deserved to live after that?
So personally, I think my main issue is not with if somebody has the right to live or die, I guess, based on their crimes, is more just injustices based on not enough evidence. So most of the people that do die from the death penalty, there's not enough evidence. Like there's questionable.
You sure you want to use a word like most?
Go for it.
When you say most people that get killed, now you talking about the vast majority of motherfuckers that get the death penalty didn't do it. I don't really know if you can say that's true.
I mean, if there's a doubt that you did the crime, then there's an issue, right?
There's always gonna be a doubt because the person always gonna plead their innocence any damn way. You could never prove nothing, no 1,000,000%. There, none of us was there.
DNA, but there's people on death penalty right now, like they're on death row, and there's DNA that can exempt them. There's, other witnesses that come up after the fact that said they were scared or coerced or things like that. So, talk about that.
Because of that slim margin, everybody should walk.
I'm not saying they should walk. I think there should be a certain type of justice, correct? So there should be prison, but I'm not saying they should be free. I'm just saying killing someone, how does the state have the right to kill someone is more the issue.
How did that person have the right to kill someone? How did that person have the right to
Well, I wouldn't say they have the right to kill someone. They were free people and they decided to kill someone, so they did. And there should be punishment for that.
Now, what do you feel is an adequate punishment? Because I can kill 2 twin 6-year-old girls or whatever. Should I live after that?
Life in prison is enough.
Hold on. Life in prison, right? Mm-hmm. Now you talking about taxpayer dollars or whatever, right? Now you talking about some of these niggas ain't been reformed. Some of them still in prison killing people and all type of stuff. Everybody who's a killer and get life don't change their life around on some OG Bobby Johnson stuff.
No, I'm not saying you gotta change your life around either. I'm just saying that, like, for example, if you commit a crime when you're 17 or 18, who can judge that when you're 40 or 50 or 60 or 70, whatever you are, that you're a different person?
You're going to get your karma because you never going to get a job. You never going to vote. You never going to do the stuff that regular
wait, y'all. I got a perfect example. I kind of like this conversation. Okay, so for example, there's this guy. So if you ever watch Tiger King, the show on Netflix, you understand what I'm talking about. There's this guy who was selling drugs. He was a drug lord in Miami, and he was only doing it because of the money and stuff, to help him buy animals, because he has I don't know, some weird obsession with animals. But point blank period, he got arrested, got caught, eventually went to jail, served his time for it, and people are still judging him off of it. And I don't believe that people should be judging him off of it. Everybody deserves second chances.
Once you're a criminal, you're always a criminal. Just like if you're a cheater, you're always a cheater.
I don't believe that though. I believe everybody deserves.
You grow and mature, but that's still on your record.
Well, it's on your record, but doesn't mean you're going to do it again.
True.
Just because it happened once, it was a mistake. Some people make mistakes in life that they don't realize until it hits them, and then they get caught doing it.
Right, but most criminals are repeated criminals. They turn around and because they're desperate for
money,
they can't go get a job.
Though? Do you know why? Because they don't know how to survive in this world. They don't have anybody who's giving them a second chance.
I disagree. And I'm gonna can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to tell you why I disagree. When I first started selling dope, whatever, I didn't have to. I just wanted to, right? After I laid it down for a year, when I got out, I went right back to it. I didn't have to. I just wanted to. There was never no point in my life.
That's what you knew when you got into jail. That's what you finished doing. That's what you knew. So when you got out, you went right back to what you knew.
Oh, but I had options though. I'm not gonna act like my back was against the wall. Like I had options. I could. Well, I did get a job, but I also.
But why'd you choose that? Yeah, like why'd you choose that, Clint? Over like a nice just like job or whatever. Like what was the reason?
No, I still work too. But what I'm saying is, it's fast, easy money.
Yeah, fast money. Okay.
It was an addiction.
So then your mind never changed from when you got caught.
Not to put too much out, but that's what I grew up around, and I saw it so many times or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to show a kid and a teenager seeing people making hundreds of $1,000s doing basically nothing, and then you have that same opportunity too. It's kind of hard for a teenager to not go that route.
I have a lot of people doing that around me. I'm in school right now wanting to be a pharmacist, but I see people making easy money, and I'm like, I wish I could do that. But I know that if I do that, then I'm going to be in a bad place. So I just continue to stay in the same path I'm going to stay in.
But see, some people, I was willing to take that risk, though.
I'm sorry?
But I was willing to take that risk. And I was willing to take it again after I was a felon. Now, where I got lucky when I got in 2004. I got in 2004. I didn't stop until like maybe 2015 or whatever, right?
Okay.
Luckily, I just never got caught again. Luckily. You know what I'm saying?
How many people get out of prison on parole that don't get in trouble before they go back?
I don't really know, but what I'm saying is luckily I was in that slim margin where I ain't get in trouble again.
I think the percentage is pretty low.
But Clint, I'm just curious as to why, like, I guess you feel the way you feel about the death penalty. Like, I mean, obviously, you did your time and stuff, so I'm just curious.
As far as the death penalty or whatever, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's say somebody killed somebody very near and dear to you or whatever, right?
Okay, go for it.
Somebody killed somebody very near and dear to you.
Now, I've heard the argument that most people are anti-death penalty until it happens to somebody close in your immediate family or your friend or whatever. And I mean, sure, I think that's very situational, but I think for the most people you're good.
I just feel like, and I was like that before it was somebody near and dear to me. Like I just feel like if you're out here taking lives or whatever, now I understand what you're doing. Something you did with 17 is not vindictive of who you is at 40 or whatever, right? But what I'm saying is everybody doesn't change. Everybody don't. But now I understand. Hold on. I understand also what you're saying. There are people who probably didn't do it or whatever, but that's slim though. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So
and
what
if
about
somebody was
like what would be enough evidence for you that like if somebody kills someone that they deserve death? Like what would be
let me say an admission of guilt. What about that? Some people do plead guilty as hell or whatever. Like out in Phoenix or whatever. There was this woman recently a few months ago in Phoenix or whatever, right? Okay. She lost her 3 children to the state or whatever, right? Her aunt, she was from New Mexico. They moved her kid to Phoenix with her aunt, right?
Okay.
She came to visit them and killed all 3 of them, right? Do you think she deserves to live after that?
I mean, I'm trying to figure out your argument on why she doesn't deserve to live. Like I'm just trying to figure out why.
Because you took the lives of 3 children for no reason at all. What are you ever going to contribute to society after that? What is the reason for you being here?
Her contributing to society to me. It's more of an issue with the justice system thinking they're God. They're playing God. They're being able to decide who lives and who dies.
So was she. So was she.
All right, but if somebody murders 1 person, they usually won't get like the death penalty. But somebody murders 2 or 3, they do. So how is that any different? If the premise that murder is wrong is a problem, then everybody that murders gets the death penalty. But it's not like that.
It is flawed. In that respect, yes, it is flawed. It is flawed.
Exactly.
Because somebody, it's flawed, definitely.
But so what's the judgment? Like where do we draw the judgment? Because I mean, the district attorney needs to draw the judgment if it's like a big case or maybe they're somebody that's very like famous and they're trying to make like an example. But if somebody murders 1 person, I'm not saying it's not a problem, but it's less of a problem than if somebody murders 2, 3, 4, 5, they're going to rampage. Those are the people that get the death penalty. How can we have like guidelines that tell us, all right, these are the cases we need to do the death penalty versus these are the ones that are not?
Well, I mean,
how do we decide?
It is all over the place because I can kill you and be out in 7 years, but then Danny can kill G Money and get death, for the same. And we both shot our victim, and we both shot our victim in the head. Like, it's no, I will. It is flawed. It's all over the place.
Because it all depends. If it's first degree, premeditated, predicted, plan, murder for hire. It just depends on the circumstances of the,
But why is one crime worse than another? Like, how are we making it
because
worse?
if a person defending themselves, I don't know. It just depends.
Let me ask you this, Sam. A crime of passion or whatever, right? Let's say let's say somebody walk in on somebody messing with his wife or whatever, and he kill him in that situation.
Okay.
Do you compare that to, hey, I got $10,000. I need you to kill this dude for me real quick. That's two different types of murder right there.
I mean,
it's still a human life at the end.
I'm looking at it, I try to view it all as like equal because I have to be fair. I'm trying to view it through like the eyes of the lawyer, the law, like the eyes of the judge. Like it just has to be equal. Murder is if we're saying murder is wrong, then murder just has to be wrong in every circumstance. If it's self-defense, if it's like passion, if it like murder just has to be wrong. So if we're saying murder is wrong, like it's equal, then at the same time, somebody that's murders 2 people, 3, 4, 5 has to be on the same level that somebody that's murdered 1. So if that's the case, then we all need to give death penalty for every single person that murders, right? Go.
I wouldn't say that.
I don't agree to that.
I go.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that because you have people like where I'm from in Toledo, right?
Go.
There were some kids that threw like some rocks off of a bridge or whatever onto the highway, and somebody swerved and died or whatever, right?
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Right. Now this was some kids just fucking around or whatever.
Yeah.
But
you have fun.
Right, but you technically you didn't kill them, but you caused them. You killed them. You know what I'm saying? That's not the same as me just, I don't like them dudes over there. I'm about to go shoot this dude because he got on red and I don't like bloods. That's not the same thing. So
but why
there are
not
different.
The same to you? I'm just curious. Like, what is the justification? I mean,
one is an accident.
One issue that we're taking a life, or is the issue that like how we take the life? Like
how you take a life?
Because if you plan it, obviously there's more thought, and you hire a hitman versus it just happens when I walk in, I see my wife cheating, I go to the kitchen, I stab her. Sure, I agree. Those are inherently different things. But when it comes to like the judgment and somebody has to make a ruling, murder is murder, right? So no, obviously, like the details are very important when like you're an outsider. But if there's somebody that's trying to make a ruling on what murders deserve death, like where do they draw the line? Is it multiple people?
I understand what you're saying. Like, what's the criteria? You basically said, what's the criteria, right? Yeah,
but every state and every judge has free will to decide what counts as death penalty and what they'll accept as death penalty. So that's more of my issue with it, is mainly that, and then people that die on death penalty that, don't get proper representation or things like that. It's not a problem with, having death penalty. Sure, death penalty should be there to deter people from, committing heinous crimes. But at the same time, where do we draw the line is more my issue. It's more with like the system, because one judge can say, oh, okay, you committed one murder. It was really gruesome. Maybe you like chopped up the body, you hit the limbs and all that. But then another judge can be like, well, I only accept death penalty if you've done 3, 4 people. Like, how is that any different? Like,
you said it should be universal.
Exactly. If there is a standard in place that every like murder that reaches this criteria, I'd be fine with it. I'd be like, okay.
But how do you do that though? Every murder is completely different. You don't know the thought process. You don't know the circumstances leading up to it. You don't know exactly what happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you can't have universal. If you kill somebody, this is always going to be the you know what I'm saying? No matter where you at. If you kill one person, you can't really do that because everything is not the same.
I know. And that's my main issue with the death penalty. Like, obviously there's, the people that are like, I have the tax dollars that go to death row inmates are really insane. People get sentenced, early on, and then they'll have to wait 10, 11, 12, 20 years until they actually die. So, our tax dollars are going to that. So that's obviously another issue.
Which is pointless. Huh? Yeah, that's what I said. Remember I said earlier, now you're talking about taxpayers' money. Why would we pay to keep this person alive? You're going to kill him anyway.
No, well, I mean, my issue with the death penalty is like, if you're going to have a death penalty, you also give these people the chance to appeal like 20, 30 times. So they won't get actually die for 12, 11, 13 years until after they get sentenced. So they're like just kind of chilling, on death row. And I'm not a big fan of that. I think if you're going to...
Let me ask you this.
Go for it.
Now, in certain circumstances, I feel like the death penalty is actually a damn privilege, to be honest with you. And this is why I
No,
say
it
that.
is. A lot of the prisoners say they enjoy living on death row because they have their own like cell. They're in like a special unit. Go for it.
I don't mean that or whatever, right?
There's
People there's people who have raped and kidnapped and killed children or whatever, multiple of them, right?
Okay.
I feel like if you was to do that, right, and you get death or whatever, right, you really didn't suffer. I would rather a nigga suffer for the rest of his life after doing some shit like that. And I feel like, if somebody was to rape and kidnap and kill a bunch of kids or whatever, right, and they send them on a death row 3 months later, they out of here. They didn't really suffer though. Was that really a punishment?
So wait, like
they not out in 3 months.
That like, because
I'm saying, you know what I'm saying.
No, wait.
I didn't say out. I said get killed. I mean, definitely lethal injection or whatever. Let's say you kill 5 people, 5 kids, rape them, kill them. You get the lethal injection the same year or whatever, right?
Oh, that's never gonna happen. Minimum, you're gonna be.
Listen. I'm just saying. Even just getting the death penalty, period. Even if it was 10 years or whatever, I feel like that person should suffer for the rest of his life. I would rather see that person locked up.
You should be anti-death penalty. You should be more like let them rot in prison until they die, right?
No, not everybody though. Not no crime. Not no. You kidnapped my kid, so I killed you. I don't feel like that person should rot in prison.
Clint,
but those are the people that get sentenced to the death penalty, though. It's the ones that do kidnap kids. I mean, rape kids and all that.
Yeah, because every crime isn't really eligible for death penalty. It has to be like one of a heinous crime. But Clint, at what line? Like, where do you draw the line? Like, is it based on the amount of people? Is it based on like kids? Is it based on, how they commit the crime?
But see, I don't think we could ever come to no happy medium on that because every situation is different. Like I said, you don't know the thought process. You don't know the lead up to it. You don't know the reasoning behind it. Not saying it's a good reason or a bad reason. What I'm saying is, since every case is different, there could never be no universal structure that we're going off of. Never.
All right. So, but why do you not think that should be in place? Because if that's the case, it's more like, let's say this person committed like especially in like Texas, like if somebody commits a lot of crimes in Texas, like at least they have like 3 strikes. So once you've committed the second crime, and let's say you commit like a third crime, you happen to kill somebody, you're automatically going to be off for the death penalty. Now, your other 2 crimes could have been you robbing a liquor store, or you doing like, more childish stuff. But your third crime could be insane, and, you murder somebody.
You mean third felony?
Yeah. But how does that make that relevant? Like, how is that different from somebody that's just done their first murder? Like, why should that be different?
You basically saying, I got caught selling 10 bricks, then I got caught robbing a liquor store, then I killed somebody, and that third one is death automatic. I see what you're saying. No, those 3 crimes have nothing to do with each other, and that's why I said the system is flawed.
I mean, I guess we could agree that the system is very flawed. So, I mean, that's obviously one of my big issues with the death penalty. It's also like there's been, I'm not going to say like a lot of cases, but there have been cases where people have been executed, and then after the fact, they find evidence.
They
exonerate them. So if that's the case, then that means my like standard for death penalty is going to be very high. Like, I want you to kill somebody that you're like not 99% sure, 100% sure. If you're 80 or 70% sure, like I need DNA, I need like them to admit, I need multiple like I need a lot. If that's the case, like that's how I feel.
Well, listen, okay, well, the thing with that is DNA ain't been around that goddamn long for, you know what I'm saying? So that's like saying if somebody was to kill somebody in the 1800s, it was no DNA back. So what would you need back then? You would need a personal admission and all of that then? All this new technology we got now, this is all the last 60, 70 years.
I mean, back then is a different time, but I'm talking about like, I mean, the death penalty is still like, I mean, like, for example, in Florida, the death penalty still exists. I mean, people are still getting executed. So at this current moment and moving forward, I need like legit, I need 100%. I don't need 99%. If there's any doubt in somebody's mind or anybody's mind, like, that person.
How do you get 100% without an admission though?
You don't need an admission to make it 100%. I don't need anybody to ever admit to the crime. I'm sure that will help. But for me, what would be, I guess, like 100% would be, we have witnesses, we have DNA, we have like,
you're not always gonna get
no
that.
alibi.
You talking about a perfect storm every single time. You're not always gonna get that.
Well, if you're gonna kill somebody, don't you think you should have more than enough evidence that there's no doubt in your mind? If you got doubt in your mind, then why are you?
I understand what you're saying, but you're not gonna have insurmountable evidence in every single murder case.
I mean, it's a murder though. Like they're telling me like there's gonna be no link.
You need to be sure, but at the same time, you can't be 100% sure in every time. Sometimes shit just add up and you know what it is. You can't tell me you need footage
Well,
and DNA.
I'm not saying I need footage, but I need, for example, like first off, it's the prosecutor. I mean, it's their job to provide, such a good argument that that person should be sent to death. And if they can't provide enough evidence that that person should be sent to death, if there's any doubt in any other juror's mind or anybody's mind, then that should be enough to stop death. And sure, just give them a sentence, but it shouldn't be enough for death. Like death, I need 100%. I need I'm not obviously footage is good, but even then you could always argue, it could be altered. But I need footage. I'm gonna need DNA. I'm gonna need no alibis. I'm gonna need text.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I know you're a little younger and you was in the nutsack when this shit happened, right? But the OJ case, right? OJ case, right?
So wait. You think OJ did it or not before you start your not?
Yeah, I do. You know why?
Okay.
He was running and all type. What you running for if you ain't did nothing or whatever? Why you come out with a book called "If I Did It"? Come on, if I did it,
not guilty. He was not guilty.
All right, but all right,
yeah, got found not guilty. But come on.
What do you think OJ? What do you think would have been a fair, I guess, punishment for OJ for his so-called crime?
Oh, I don't know. What you mean if he really did it?
Mm-hmm.
If.
Well, first of all, I don't know the exact. I wasn't in court. I don't know the exact details. But what I'm saying is, my gut instinct is he did it. There was, if he really did do it, I think a double murder. Yes, death. What about the families of the people that you killed? Both of these people's families. But you don't think you hold on? You think you got the right to make them suffer, and all you get to do is just go to jail? You have destroyed lives.
How are they
hold on, listen. Hold on, listen. You took somebody's daughter. You took somebody's sister. You took somebody's dad. You took somebody's mama. You took somebody's brother. You know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't. Why should you get to live if you taking these two lives and their whole family life basically?
Do you feel the same about the death penalty going for kids too? Like kids who shoot up schools? Just curious.
What do you mean by kids?
Like people who shoot up schools. Some of the
No, listen. What I'm saying by what do you mean by kids? Are we talking late teens? Are we talking 9 or what are we?
But what's the difference? But
even if I had an age, what would the difference?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're 9 versus if they're 17.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Do you think the Batman, the guy that shot up the Batman theater, the movie theater, do you think he should have got the death penalty or what?
Yes. You shot up a damn theater with kids and shit.
But he's a kid.
So what? He's mentally insane.
Exactly.
Well, lock his ass up in the mental institution.
Okay, so we doing that now? We doing that? Oh, I'm crazy. Let me go. No, we're not doing that.
Bro, normal people do not walk in the movie theater, put a body armor on, go in the front of the movie theater screen, and shoot.
Hold
so you basically hold on.
Yeah, he had a body armor.
Hold on.
Shit out, my nigga.
Exactly.
No, you basically he looked at a movie and had thoughts.
He mimicked it.
G, are you saying if you're mentally ill, you should be exempt? You cool? He didn't know what he was doing.
Not exempt.
No, we're not doing that.
Gonna be
not exempt. I said my belief, life in prison. That's what he got, and that's what he deserved. The Colorado shooting, life in prison. That's what he got. That's what he deserved.
Exactly.
Nah, because see, once you bought the body armor, you already knew what you was going to do.
You knew what you was doing.
I don't agree with that.
If I plan on taking your life and the lives of everybody in the car with you, I should just get life after that?
Okay, don't you know people snap and they have mental breakdowns and they go to the pawn shop and buy guns.
Get his mind right.
They go buy guns and body armor and they just have a mental breakdown.
That's not a mental breakdown. You bought guns and body armor you knew what you was doing.
You know what you're doing, exactly. Yep. You knew what you was doing.
You didn't randomly do that. You didn't do all of that in 1 second. That took days of planning.
So take for example, your wife tell you go get some milk. You go to the grocery store, you forget the milk, and she just starts stabbing your ass. That's a mental breakdown.
Okay, she's 33. That dude was 17 years old. Big difference.
Yeah, I didn't know he was.
She had a mental breakdown because you forgot the milk.
Now the age actually is important because when you're 15.
No, I didn't know that though. I really didn't know that.
Because when the prosecutors say they're 17, they specifically wait until they're 18 to try them as adults. So if you were 15 and you commit a crime, you're obviously going to get less time than when you're 17.
Well,
or
I'll put it like
18.
But
this.
what I'm saying is, he's 17 legally. But what if he had the mind of a 7-year-old or something like that?
Exactly.
That's his parents' fault.
Okay,
You should
that
watch
doesn't
the
matter.
child.
That's his
Talking about
parents'
punishment.
fault.
That's
No,
not
it
the
ain't.
kid's
Yes.
fault.
How is
Yes.
that the parents'
The
fault?
kid gets to just live in prison, and he's punished in prison because it's not like people in prison don't punish people for doing that shit. You get beat the fuck
Yeah,
up.
you don't think they getting tortured every day, raped?
Exactly.
Somebody's
Not
bitch every day?
at no mental institute. No,
No,
They not
not
in a mental institution. They in prison.
but that's
General
what somebody
Pop.
said. They should put him in a mental institute. That ain't no punishment. Like, come on, man.
I don't know, bro. What they? I mean, in mental
All
institution,
right, so
you
Clint,
suffer too.
what's a good punishment for you? Like, all right, let's say I murdered somebody at my age currently, 23. So I murdered somebody. What do you think is a fair punishment for me?
It depends on why you murder. Ain't just murder.
It depends on your mind state, Sam.
It depends on the circumstances. If you murdered me because I kidnapped and killed your little brother, I don't feel like that should be the same as you murdering me because I had on blue.
Okay. All right, bet. I feel that.
Wait, can
So,
I just go back to the mental institution really quick before you guys change the subject completely? I wanted to just say something about the mental institution. So I think you're still low-key getting punished in the mental institution, though, because, like, you're with a bunch of, like, people who are insane. Like, insane. You're, like, doing absolutely nothing. Like, you hate your life. Because you can't get out of, like, once you're in a mental institution, it's really hard to get out of that shit.
You drugged up every day, and you can't do nothing.
Exactly.
And you might be with somebody that can just snap at any moment, worse than you did.
Exactly. So I feel like you're still getting punished in there because you're stuck in a place and you can't get out. That's just like going to jail, but except jail, people actually, beat your ass. Like a mental institution, well, you could still get beat, but still. Sorry.
Victoria.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you feel like the death penalty shouldn't be implemented under no circumstances?
No, I believe in the death penalty, actually.
Okay. Sam.
What's up?
Do you feel like the death penalty shouldn't be implemented under no circumstances?
I personally don't think it should be implemented ever. That's just me.
But you hold on. But you also said earlier it should exist to deter people from doing that.
But I'll tell you where I agree and I disagree to the death penalty. I agree with the death penalty to a certain extent. Like, for example, that kid that shot up all those people, like, that did that, like, he made those homemade bombs or whatever, like, people who do that shit, I believe they deserve the death penalty. Like, people who do absolutely crazy shit like that, I believe they deserve the death penalty because you're killing people for no reason. So you're on a case by case. He didn't have a reason to kill people. He just killed a bunch of people.
Sam.
What's up?
A terrorist or whatever, right? Terrorist attack.
Exactly.
That person doesn't need a death penalty?
I believe that.
I don't think so.
I think.
No, like,
okay. Get the fuck out of here, Sam.
I guess
you kill. Hold on. You blow up a Greyhound bus with 40 people on it. You don't deserve death after that?
What you want to do? Behead him?
Look, calm down, baby. Like you just said, everything is, based on the situation. Of the
okay,
case.
I just gave you a situation. I blow up a Greyhound bus with 50 people on it. I don't deserve the death penalty after that?
No. Death
Why?
penalty, because most of the advocates for death penalty say it's to deter crimes. It doesn't deter any crimes. It's also taking a life. What makes you a god? What makes you a god?
No, whoa. Hold on. Prison don't deter crimes either. People still do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you say, hold on. If you're saying the death penalty shouldn't exist because it don't stop nothing, that's like saying prison shouldn't exist because it don't stop shit.
No, I think the death penalty is what makes you a god. What gives you the right to kill somebody is more my issue.
But he's saying what gives a black
Another
or
human.
white person to get up on the stand, dressed up in a robe,
Hey, I didn't
and
say
say,
a white person. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, whatever
Hey,
whatever color the judge is, what gives the judge gives you...
Can we leave the race angles out of it tonight, please? Please.
And no reason.
But no, what I'm saying, because that had nothing to do.
What gives a human being to tell another human being, I sentence you to death? Who is him? Does that make that perfect?
Because I sentenced 50 people to death on that damn bus.
Okay, but that judge is not perfect. He got flaws.
Exactly.
Okay, let me ask y'all this.
He didn't kill
So
motherfucking 50 people, though, nigga.
What should we do with them? What should happen to them?
At what point do you like? All right, so if Clint kills one person, he's good. Clint kills two person, he might be good. 3, he might be good. But when it's more than 3, so like
an issue. Like, where do I just draw the line?
Like I said, man, it's certain.
I feel like my tax dollars going to waste. This shouldn't even go to trial. Put a gun to the head. That's just me.
Facts. Man, matter of fact, man, tie that nigga limbs to 4 horses and have him pull it in different directions for all I care.
It got so much you could be doing with that tax money. Education. You could fix a damn pothole. I'm just saying.
Right.
Fuck that nigga.
And it's like, let me ask you this, Sal. Let me ask you this.
What's up, Clint?
We here to produce it and be fruitful and multiply all of that or whatever, right?
I mean, you believe that?
I'm just saying we here for a reason or whatever, right? Most people are supposed to contribute something to somebody, whether it's society, your family,
but
or whatever,
that's if
right?
you believe that, Clint. That's the problem.
I'm not talking. Listen,
Who says we're here for a reason, though? That's the like. I don't.
You is here for a reason. Okay. Well, people love you, don't they? Somebody love your ass, right? If you ain't contributed nothing to nobody's life or society, your family, nothing, what is the point of you being here?
The premise is flawed because you believe that I'm here for a reason. Yeah, I could just be on the earth to be on the earth.
Okay, well, if your life is, are you on earth to have a waste of a life and never accomplish nothing? Are you here for that?
My life is meaningful to me, Clint. Like, I didn't have to be meaningful to anybody else. I do me for me.
Okay, your life is meaningful to you. If you're never going to be anything because you'll be in a cell the rest of your life, what is the point of being here?
Hey, maybe I can provide joy. Oh, like, you never know. I can provide my own happiness.
You said you could provide joy in a cell?
Hey, I mean, I might be able to. You never know.
Pause, my nigga. Like, goddamn.
Joy.
You're a clown.
Oh, that was
What happened to Nelson Mandela?
Nelson Mandela. That was some bullshit.
Oh,
Nah, he did 20.
He got a body bag.
He did 27. Hold on. What you say now?
I mean,
matter of fact, no. Hold on. Matter of fact, whoa. Matter of fact, no. Nelson blew some shit up. Did Nelson like bomb some shit?
Someone Google it.
Yeah. Then he Googled that. I believe Nelson bombed some shit. I don't know if that's what he did them 27 for. What do you? But what do y'all? Okay, since you brought him up, what do you think about this situation?
I don't give a fuck. I wasn't living back.
You was alive when Nelson
Conspiring
Mandela
to
was alive.
overthrow the state.
Conspiring to what?
Overthrow the state following the Riviera trial.
All right, listen, this is what I was saying. I was saying I'm also like contradicting myself on this because of the fact I'm a very strong believer in God. So like I also feel like people deserve second chances and that like we shouldn't be the ones to judge off of someone's mistakes. Like I feel like God should be the one to punish them, not
Whoa, hold on. You said you're a very strong believer.
I know I'm about to get flamed, but I'm just saying that's my opinion.
Hold on, listen. You said you believe in the listen, can I talk please? You said you believe in the Bible, right?
What?
Which is
I believe in the Bible.
I know, listen, but you also said only God should judge people, right? Well, why does it say an eye for an eye? That's the law of the land, right? Well, I ask you this. You said you believe in the Bible, right? Then you said only God can judge people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It also says an eye for an eye. That's the law of the land. So how does that even, that's a contradiction within itself.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I was telling Sam. This is like a hard conversation to have because I'm contradicting myself because like I feel like people should be judged. But then there's also things in the Bible that also. So then it's like, it's kind of confusing to be one-sided on this. If you understand what I'm saying.
It is. You're right.
Because it's like it's all contradicting at the same time. Because like I do believe it, but then like at the same time I don't. Because I've seen people change. So it's like I believe that people can change.
Yes, they can.